Hey everyone, welcome back to another recap podcast from SNXweave, where we give quick weekly recaps of news and important updates from the previous week from the Spartan Council and core contributors, as well as discuss what the Grants Council and ambassadors are up to, so let's get started. First up, the SIP to deploy v3 on base is close to a Gurley testnet deployment, and the SIP to enable USDC for Andromeda on base is in draft. The council also had a discussion about the buyback and burn proposal, with Gene voicing some concern as to whether the right approach was chosen. Millie informed the group that after some research, Yearn appears to already have a smart contract written that can execute purchases based on the Oracle price of SNX. This SIP was presented last week, so let's briefly review SIP 345 for the SNX buyback and burn. After paying integrators, this SIP proposes splitting the remaining fees between base LPs and SNX stakers, where stakers would receive the rewards via a buyback and burn mechanism. Fees would be used to purchase SNX at the current market price via an already developed Yearn smart contract, as previously mentioned. Burning would happen periodically as a manual process. This was picked due to its low complexity as a test of potential fee-sharing mechanisms on base. Gene is concerned that a buyback and burn is not the most direct way to distribute value back to stakers. Millie chimed in, adding that this is just the first of what could be many deployments to different chains, and it becomes very technically challenging to bring all those earnings back to a single chain. Kane suggested a possibility where the Treasury could be the only wallet capable of selling SNX, which would slowly deplete Treasury holdings over time and further decentralization objectives. There is also some discussion about how this should be coordinated with a possible end to inflationary rewards. Next, audits for two key Perps v3 updates are currently in progress, and audit feedback for L1 Perps is being implemented, with a SIP coming soon. In other discussion, the Spartan Council and core contributors talked about descoped v3 features. Kane asked for a list of any of the promised features in v3 that had been descoped. Cross-margin will be live at launch, but support for multi-collateral portfolio margin is expected to launch within a month, as work is still in progress to offer support for more volatile assets. The code will still be deployed with the rest of v3, but only with USDC collateral enabled. All of the other major features promised in v3 will be going live with the first v3 release. While on the topic of possible future v3 deployments, there's also discussion regarding forward-looking partnerships and ecosystem alignment, where Kane shared some ecosystem developments with the Spartan Council. Originally, Optimism planned to be a superchain L2 that attracted a large portion of the rollup user base. The crypto landscape has changed dramatically, and Optimism has shifted to a strategy of getting as many OP stack chains deployed as possible. However, this shift in strategy has changed the incentives they offer as well. At the beginning, Synthetics hoped to be the premier Perps product on what was supposed to be a popular L2. Synthetics' strategy now, as it relates to the Optimism partnership, may need to be reconsidered to optimize protocol value. This will fall to the Treasury Council to negotiate, but since the Spartan Council guides protocol improvement, there needs to be some conversation between the two councils on the longer-term vision. Lastly, on top of the buyback and burn presentation, there were a few other SIPs presented last week, all by Bert, so let's review them. The first was SIP 346, for a Perps v3 integrator incentive. This SIP proposes an integrator fee share mechanism for Perps v3, where integrators earn a 20% base fee in SUSD from trades executed through a Synthetics Perps integration. This process is fairly straightforward. Integrators would sign up for a tracking code to track the markets they've deployed and would receive their 20% first. The hope is that this provides the best solution to incentivize scaling of Perps markets because integrators will have a vested interest in producing more volume. The next presentation was SIP 2035, to list Celestia on Synthetics Perps. Celestia is an upcoming Cosmos cryptocurrency with a focus on data sampling for other blockchains. It launched on October 17th, which provides an early opportunity to offer Celestia on Synthetics Perps. The last two presentations were also for proposed additions to Synthetics Perps offerings. SIP 2039 proposes listing Meme on Synthetics Perps, and SIP 2040 proposes listing Anchor Network, Fetch.ai, and Graph Protocol on Synthetics Perps. All of these markets were chosen based on active volume on other exchanges and in line with Synthetics' objective to continue capturing trading volume from new markets. Listings for all three of these SIPs will require Pyth and Chainlink feeds. In Grants Council updates, in case you missed it, there's a new bot running in the Synthetics Discord. It's the ETH BTC ratio tracking bot. And speaking of bots, Alex is proposing a retroactive grant for the Telegram bot developer. Also, thanks to the Grants Council, the Watcher page now includes favorites. You'll be able to compile all your favorite traders in one place and tag them with name overrides. The team is also discussing some additional exciting user features to add and are working with devs on many new elements of the Watcher site. Meanwhile, Sunny is following up with the Solid Insight AI support service and reviewing the last piece of functionality for the Overtime v3 project. And CT is continuing to reach out to other protocols to remind their OGs to come mine the Spartan Synthverse NFTs. And that's it for today's updates. Be sure to check out our weekly recap blog post, share this podcast link, and let us know what you think and what you'd like to hear more about from SNXweave. Thanks for listening,